Day 19 of the 1 year fast. I'm feeling really well today. This particular week, the third week of the 1 year fast, I fasted on Sunday, on Tuesday, and today on Thursday. 3 24-hour fasts. And just to recap, the 1 year fast is for me to fast for 3 days per week for 52 consecutive weeks. And I choose the days during the week that I will fast. So I could fast 3 days in a row, 72 hours, and that's what I did on the first week, or I could separate those 3 days. So this particular week, week 3 of the 1 year fast, I'm fasting on 3 separate days, 24 hours on Sunday, 24 hours on Tuesday, and 24 hours today on Thursday. I took my ketone readings on Sunday and showed 0 after 22 hours, indicating I was not in ketosis. I took my ketone readings again on Tuesday and showed 26 after 21 hours. Clearly well into ketosis, therapeutic ketosis. And I intend taking my ketone readings again today. I was actually hoping to have my upgraded ketone reader available today, but it hasn't arrived yet from its source. So I'm going to use my old, tried and trusted 4-year-old ketone reader. Again, not medical grade, breath-based, really just a guide for an indicator of potential ketosis. So we do that. So let's give it a bash. Again, I have a really basic, rudimentary, breath-based ketone reader. It's not medical grade, it's only a guide, but it's been pretty tried and trusted over the past 4 years, again, as a rough guide. So I'll give it another bash. Again, I'm kind of about 20 hours into the 24-hour fast. I think it's about that. So let's give it a go. So started, and on these breath-based, they give you a countdown from 20. And then when it gets to 0, it beeps. And that's an indicator to blow into the, blow into the breath-based ketone analyzer. Second beep to stop. It's first beep. Second beep. And again today we got a 0. So interesting. Sunday got 0 after about 22 hours. Tuesday got 26 after about 21 hours. And today, as you can see, 0 again after around about 20 hours. So need to use an upgrade. So hopefully the new ketone reader will arrive by tomorrow, and I can start using it again for next week. Hopefully get some better readings next week around my level of ketosis during the fast, because clearly that's a very important part of fasting, to try and establish that autophagy, cleansing the body. I would like to take a couple of moments just to briefly reminisce. Again, one of the main purposes of these videos is to have a record of how I was acting on that particular day, to try and identify any positive, negative impacts to mental, emotional, psychological health of the 1 year fast. And these seem to be a pretty good vehicle just to come back objectively and say, okay, Alfie was performing in A, B, or C on that particular day, got an indicator there of perhaps some detrimental emotional health, or maybe there's a positive mental health on another day. So that's the main purpose of the videos. And in fact, I did have an acquaintance come up to me again today and just say, Alfie, your videos are absolutely, and he used a couple of expletives. And again, I had to agree. They're not here as, I'm not trying to be a director. I'm just here in real rough form, just trying to kind of keep a record of the 1 year fast. and have some indicators around physical, mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual health, just as a yardstick. That's all this is about, really. So I'm not trying to impress anybody with great videos. It's just a record, but hopefully a meaningful record. So anyway, coming back to the reminiscing. In 2011, I worked in New York, just under a year. I worked on the corner of 37th Street and 10th Avenue in Manhattan. And it's funny, actually, when I was in the, so I was in the office, and it's probably about 4 floors up. It's not very high, but very close to the Hudson. And one of my colleagues said, oh, he was telling me where he lived. He lived in New Jersey. I said, wow, that must be a tough journey for you, New Jersey. And he said to me, Alfie, just look across the river there. So I was looking across the river from the 4th floor, and he said, can you see that apartment building? And he kind of pointed, and he said, is that blue one? And I remember, and I said, yeah, I can see that. He goes, I live there. So I didn't really, because I was ignorant, coming from England. I didn't really understand the proximity of New Jersey and New York, but it soon became apparent. Anyway, so I was working in New York, and at that time, what was really prominent was Occupy Wall Street. And there was a really big protest in Zuccotti Park, very close to Wall Street there. And I remember thinking to myself, I really want to go down there and just take a look at what's going on, try and get a feeling for the atmosphere, the event. So I actually got a cab down to Zuccotti Park and just kind of mingled. And this was, when was this? This was around about, I think this was September? I think it was September 2011, around about then. And I was really, really kind of taken aback by how kind of professional and decent all the people were in Zuccotti Park making this protest. Because obviously, everyone had a preconception that protesters would probably not be as professional and as engaging as they actually were. It's incredible. They're amazing people. And it kind of got me thinking about that whole Occupy Wall Street and how quickly the authorities squashed that. Really kind of came down like a hammer on a nail, really just hammered it into oblivion. And that kind of opens up a whole conversation, doesn't it, around wealth distribution and the way that we are managed by government. Are we truly managed by the government? We elect the politicians to represent us. Do we truly get that? And I think maybe Occupy Wall Street was starting to peel back that particular curtain, and maybe people get nervous. So that had to be squashed quickly. I believe Bloomberg was one of the main instigators of the destruction of that Occupy Wall Street. I think maybe we're not too far away from maybe a 2.0 version of Occupy Wall Street. I hope so. I think it's due. We do need to really get into the mechanics of wealth distribution, how certain people acquire their wealth, and really kind of drill into any dishonesty and expose it. Just get that torchlight into that dark space, bring all to light, and just make people accountable. If they're being dishonest, if they are impacting the rest of society, the honest society, in a negative way through dishonesty, and they're taking advantage, that needs to be exposed. And hopefully, Occupy Wall Street 2.0 isn't too far away. I think we're ready for it. Anyway, just reminiscing about working in New York. I didn't live in New York. I lived in Connecticut at the time. I used to come in on the train to Penn Street, walk over to 37th Street. But it was really eye-opening going down to Zuccotti Park seeing all the protesters. Again, great bunch. They were camped out, and just a vibrant bunch of American citizens, patriots, trying to do their duty, I guess, for the rest of us, for the hoi polloi, shall we say, the proletariat. So yeah, hopefully Wall Street 2.0 around the corner. Anyway, that's me enough reminiscing. And by the way, New York 2011, amazing place. Okay, so back to the 1 year fast. Again, day 19. Can't believe I'm stepping into day 20 already. It seems like I just started a moment ago, but stepping into day 20. I want to try and keep a video going every day of the week, if I can. It's not easy, but I want to do that. And again, had an associate, had a kind of acquaintance tell me how terrible the videos are. And again, I accept that, but they're raw for a reason. They need to be raw because they need to be real. I need to come back and use these as yardsticks to really measure, again, that psychological, emotional, mental health, and that's what they're here for primarily. Okay, so coming to the end of day 19, showed 0 on the rudimentary breath-based ketone reader. Again, new ones arriving, hopefully for the next time I do a measurement. So clearly, according to the ketone reader, I'm not in ketosis, but I do feel really good. I feel really energized. And again, looking forward to my smoothie shake and my spirulina, protein-based smoothie shake and spirulina in a couple of hours' time. And in between then and now, I'm going to have a quick workout, again, core-based. And yeah, that'll be me for week 3 of the 1 year fast. Thank you.